The Judean hills rise to a height of 700 meters, affording a view over the lowlands and the Mediterranean coast. In winter and spring, the wooded hillsides are carpeted with colorful flowers. On the slopes of the hills, between the trees, a multitude of habitats shelter a rich and diverse world. Next to the ridge, there is a fully operational limestone quarry. Spring 1968. An explosion rings out, a routine blast at the Hartube quarry. But this explosion is different from those that came before. It reveals the entrance into a world that had until now been concealed in the depths of the earth. Naturalists hastening to the site are amazed to discover a unique and rare natural wonder, the stalactite cave. Small in size, vast in its scope for imagination. Quarrying work was immediately halted, and a few days later, the stalactite cave was declared a nature reserve. The cave was formed.
The conditions in the cave are natural and the same
The limestone became saturated with groundwater, which dissolved the chalky stone, opening up large caverns. Later, the entire area was pushed up to form a mountain ridge.
The size of the cave is 4,800 square meters. It's considered a small cave comparing to caves in the world. Though it's small, it's one of the beautiful ones.
Collecting carbon dioxide on its way. As a result, the rainwater becomes acidic and slowly continues to dissolve the limestone, widening the cracks and creating additional underground caverns. Alongside the process of dissolution, a process of sedimentation and crystallization is also taking place inside water, trickling down to the ceiling of the cave, releases carbon dioxide gas into the cavern. The dissolved particles of limestone sink and form crystals, and each drop leaves behind a minute ring of chalky material. This results in the formation of stalactites,
The
in a
calcium
process that
limestone
began
is leaving
many
the
years
drop
ago
deposit.
and is still
Each time a
continuing to
small
this
layer.
day.
By the years it becomes a
First to
big
be formed
rock.
are the
You can see a long
stalactites,
picture.
long
lines
hollow
of
tubes that are the diameter of the droplet.
There are three types
The
of
water flows
stalactites.
through
The
them
basic
like a
one is
pipe.
the tubular shape. It
When the
begins
water
on a
drips
drop
very
on the
slowly, the
ceiling
macaroni
and
stalactites
deposits
become
a ring of
blocked,
its
and
size
the
in the
droplets begin to
circumference.
flow over the
More
outer
drops,
surface,
more rings are touching
causing
each other. It
sedimentation of the
grows
chalk
longer
around
until
them
it
and
gets
changing their
blocked.
shape. In this way,
When it's blocked, water that flows outside around it will make it thicker, so it gets a carrot shape like that. The third shape is called elephant ear that vapors there. It begins from the macaroni, the left side, and from the other side, water flows diagonal because the ceiling above is tilted or the crack is tilted.
The
Those
chalk
are
particles settle on the floor.
The stalagmites grow opposites from the bottom up. When drops from the ceiling fall and hit the ground, then the calcium leaves the drops on the ground deposits. There are more drops, more layers. It grows upward, forming stalagmites. When a stalactite and stalagmite meet, you get a column like that one there, and when few columns get together, you get this wall, as you see here.
In areas where the water trickling into the cave forms pools,
you can look at the shapes, imagine things here. It's quite amusing. I'll show you a few ideas. Follow the line. There are monkeys sitting, which is that rock. On the right, people climbing the mountain. Here is Simba, the Lion King, so far.
When a stalactite and a stalagmite meet, a column is formed, and a number of columns connected together
are romantic couples, bride and groom dancing, kissing forever. They've ordered a vegetarian meal to their wedding, the challah bread there.
Crumble into dust when their source of water
For
dries up.
dessert, ice cream cones with
The limestone sedimentation and the construction of diverse forms of cave sedimentation are dependent on carbon dioxide being released from the drops of water, and therefore, the composition of the air in the cave has an effect on the process. People breathe out carbon dioxide, and since the site was open, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the cave has gone up. The Nature and Parks Authority has installed a system to monitor the climate in the cave and measure its carbon dioxide concentration, relative humidity, and
And ahead of
temperatures.
them, Moses holding
The monitoring system helps preserve fixed environmental conditions as close as possible to the natural conditions prevailing in the cave before it was opened to the public. In order to protect the treasures of the cave while also allowing people to visit, the Nature and Parks Authority has created a raised walkway, leading visitors through the main caverns without damaging them. The walkway passes between the halls and does not go through particularly sensitive areas.
See like a hand and there's a finger
Among the
missing.
sites that are not included along the walkway are fossilized skeletons of snakes, pools covered by a fine layer of chalk, and the mushroom stalactites hall. Our stalactite cave is small by comparison with others around the world, but is
does magic. She
nonetheless
turns
considered
into
a
a frog.
natural wonder of the world because of its vast range of shapes, the density of the stalactites and stalagmites, and
That
the
is
number of
stronger than
internationally
6 or
published
6.5
research
in Richter
studies
scale, things
investigating
like so.
sedimentation
It
in the
happened
cave.
before our time. And we can see here examples of broken parts. This one,
The Nature and
example,
Parks
fell
Authority
probably
manages the
from
nature
here.
reserve, maintaining a fine
the
balance
process
between the needs of the
continues. You
visitors
see
and the
deposits
need to
connecting
protect
the
this
parts of the
sensitive cave. Stalactites and stalagmites are unique and protected natural treasures, and it is our responsibility to look after them. Do not touch them at all. Each fingerprint leaves matter on the sedimentation in the cave that harms its future construction. Do not enter the cave with food or chewing gum. Follow the instructions of the guide. If we carefully preserve the natural treasure that has been revealed to us, we will be able to enjoy the beauty of the stalactite cave for many more years to come. The Nature and Parks Authority hopes you enjoy your visit to the cave and invites you to experience nature and our heritage at 500 other nature reserves and natural parks around Israel.
But there's another color, the
brown
red,
one?
brown rust colors. And those colors come from the soil above us. On the mountain, there's a soil called terrarosa. Inside there are iron oxide. When the rain is in contact with the iron, you get the rust. So those minerals enter with the ground. Here is an interesting tiny stalactites growing in different directions against the force of gravity. What scientists explain that here it's a half-dry area. The drops enter from a very narrow crack. They're so tiny so that gravity doesn't apply here. They have no weight. But other forces do affect the water's path. One is the capillary process. When water flow up, when they reach a tiny hole, if you look closely, you'll see how tiny those stalactites are. Very, very small. Unlike the natural size of a drop, like the macaronis, here the diameter is 6 millimeter, and comparing to those natural, the natural size of a drop, you see how tiny those stalactites are. Where we saw the witch before, now from this angle there's a frog or a toad profile to the left. See the shadow behind. And other familiar figures, biblical ones. They're on the left, Samson with his back to us, pushing the two pillars in the Philistines temple. After the haircut, you see his back, hands to the sides. Okay, up there, a woman holding a baby child. And up above there, Moses on Mount Sinai holding the 10 Commandments. See the shadow above. The House of the Smurfs, the mushroom, and the bad guy Gargamel. Look over there, you see his shadow in profile. There you see. He's after us running. There's a layer of limestone frost covering it. It grows from the sides that slowly close the pool. It's strong. A man of an average size will stand on it. It won't break. And there you can imagine Buddha, smiling Buddha. And here, what do you imagine here?
You, finger, the missing finger.
Exactly. So we tell children that from the beginning, it shines, it sweats. We've named this wall a honey wall, illusion coming from the shininess and color. The water flow from here down to this pool, which is the biggest pool in the cave. Here is a crocodile head. The mermaid there.
It's a crocodile dandy.
And two doves above in the nest, loving birds. Some of the water in falls in the cave sink down to another cave 50 meters below us. And
Which is open to the public?
no, there's no way to get there unless you're a drop.
So how do you know?
We sonar test, so you can tell there's a space underneath. It's probably less interesting cave. And the space is smaller than this cave. And the water can continue down to groundwater, 5, 2, 2, and 1 dash for people. The wicked bridge with the farmer's hat behind point an apple. You can't see the apple. It's in her pocket probably. And here, next to the pillar of green, he came with a candle with 2 months. Left maybe a vending machine from Beersheba. And came here to hear the story of porcupine in the head.
The Nature and Parks Authority hopes you enjoy your visit to the cave and invites you to experience nature and our heritage at 500 other nature reserves and natural parks around Israel.